Come on.
Figuring out
Bye.
something.
Well, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Today, it's not in the camera. Hold on. Today, I have these beautiful flowers with me that my husband bought me as a surprise. They smell so amazing. It reminds me of when they say sometimes you have to stop and smell the roses. It smells so sweet. Or the lilies. The lilies smell even stronger than the roses. Well, today I have my flowers with me. Tim bought these flowers for me. Let me see how they can be in the picture. Okay, we're going to put them over this other way. I think you can see them better. No, okay. There you go. I like them. Aren't they pretty? Thank you. He did a good job. He surprised me at the office. He walked in, it was about 11 o'clock in the morning, and he had this bouquet, and I said, "How did you pick that one? Yellow roses and white lilies." And he said it was the prettiest one that I could find. I hope y'all are doing wonderful on this Sunday. And I am so excited to come to you today. Like I said, I look forward to Sundays at 4 o'clock. They're one of my favorite times to be able to connect and to share my stories. And like I said in the thumbnail, share stories. Share stories inspire strength. And we need to have that strength in these days that we're in. I know that I do. I know that every day is another challenge and every day seems to be a little harder. But if it wasn't hard, then it wouldn't know that the Lord was not testing me. So I'm happy that I'm tested and I'm happy that I'm here with you. Now, I think last time we were on together that you all enjoyed the 30 minutes of a story and then the 30 minutes with Tim. I really like that because I really like to have a little bit of both, because once someone told me, one of my mentors, that it takes a strong partner and a strong spouse so that I can be the chiropractor that I'm meant to be. And Tim is definitely doing that. Between the video editing and all the things he's doing in the videos, they have amazing feedback. I love the way he does the videos. And I also love coming home and sitting and looking at all the work that he's done on them, and makes me laugh. I laugh so hard at some of those bubbles that he put on there. So today, the story that I'm going to share with you is the story about our house hunt. So as Diana's asking about the properties, let me tell you some of the things that happened. I was going to make a video, but realized that I could just tell you about it today. So if any of you did not see me go live last week when we found out we were approved, this was a huge moment for us. Our realtor was even jumping up and down clapping, because we did get approved and we were so excited to start shopping. So I combed through about 20 properties, maybe more, and I would send them to my realtor and he would quickly type in to see if they flooded. About 12 of them out of the 20 flooded before or were near the flood line. And so we had to, get those out of the way. So there was 3 of them left, and we went and saw 3 of the properties. We started out, had butterflies, I'm riding in the car with Tim. He's driving. I've got a snack bag, because y'all probably don't know this about me, but I love to have a snack bag around so that I can eat. I don't know if any of y'all do that too, but I had my snack bag, and we're riding in the car, and we're about 48 minutes away from the first stop. And the first stop was a house that we were hopeful about with 10 acres. And we had 3 properties, and the acres were different. One was 10, and one was 4, and one was 30. And this would give us an idea of what kind of property we're looking for, like how big or how small, or what does it look like. And we went to the first one that was 10 acres, and the home had a lot of problems because it was about 70 feet from the creek. And the home was built and never went through a major flood. So they'd never been through Harvey, had never been through Imelda. There's no way we would have known if it had taken on water. So for that reason, we didn't feel that they built the house high enough. So we left that property, and that was a no-go. We drove to the second property, and the second property, it has a lot of potential. The house was not built yet, but the foundation was there. And we looked at it and we were like, this is a little too small, and it's on a corner, and it just wasn't what we were envisioning. So we went to the third property, and this was the 30 acres, and it had a steep 40-degree driveway that went about 250 feet down and then stopped. And we couldn't see trailers coming in and out of there if people wanted to come for animal ranch care. So for that reason, we had to decline. So what we've learned in the 3 houses, and this is part of my story time, because I think this is really important part of strength and for you guys to know, is that we found out that we love certain things about homes and certain things we don't. We also learned our boundaries when it comes to certain types. We work with the realtor, and he points us in the great direction. We've known him for 15 years. He knows us through and through. He knows our intentions. He knows what we want. So we're really excited to work with him, but it's going to be a journey. It's going to take some time. And I'm not the most patient person. I'm not the most patient person. It's definitely a learning process, but I'm not patient. So when you got approved for a loan and they tell you have 4 months to use it, I tend to want to move fast. So what I'm reflecting on today is when we found our property before, the one that flooded, we found the property, we looked at the property, and we bought it. We didn't have a team. We didn't have support. We didn't have a group. We didn't have a realtor and a mortgage broker that we really connected with. We also didn't have a team. So my theme of my story time today is that it takes a team. It takes a team in life. It takes friends and networks of people, whether it be churches or other business owners or groups or anything. Man, I tell you what, it definitely takes some work. Now, it takes a team when it comes to getting prepared for the weather. I know that a lot of you are talking about the cold weather. And it takes a team to get the horses ready and blanketed and coordinated, and you have to talk and you have to work things out. I think in human nature, we want to retract and do everything on our own. We want to show that we're independent, that we can do it, that we don't need help. I got this. I don't need any assistance. And I think that that's wrong. I think that that's how it was prior, that I didn't need help and I didn't have to have a team. But I'm seeing a great benefit in having all of these things: a supportive husband I've always had, but a great realtor, a great mortgage broker, a great inspector, a great dirt guy or is it a geography? Not geology. Geologist. A person who studies dirt and land. I can never think of what that word is. And well, the person that I met at the Chamber of Commerce, he said that he can come out and check the dirt and see how far we'd have to build and if we wanted to build or how the house was. A geologist. Thank you. That's what Tim said. That's what you said. And then she said it and she confirmed it. A geologist. Okay, I should listen, Tim. And a geologist and a civil engineer, a soil scientist. Yes. So we're building a team to find the best place to make sure, 1, it doesn't flood. 2, how do we have to have the home, and to make sure that it's something that is safe for us with a good foundation. Most important thing is to have a really great foundation. So I'm going to be patient. Teresa says you're smart, Tim. And I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to realize that this doesn't happen overnight. I do want to feel like we're moving forward, but part of me, the impatience comes from being in a home that we don't really 100% love and being tight like sardines in a can in a subdivision. I think we've lived this way for long enough that we're like want to spread out and we want to have our own place. And part of it comes up where you see Jamie and Lester and they have their place, and you see shirtless Jake and you see the Densmans and you see all of them, and you want to have the things, but moving fast is not always best. So moving too fast on making decisions and being extreme is something that my old self would have done prior to having my therapy. My new self is thinking things out. And the emotional side of me, it takes over my feelings. So, what I'm saying in this story time today is patience, and then there's facts, and then there's feelings. There's a fact and there's a feeling. Now, as women, we tend to lead with our feelings. But what I have to work on with this house shopping is the facts. This is a fact that this house flooded that we're looking at. This is a fact that it would be too hard for the people to bring their animals. This is a fact that this property's value is going up. So there's a lot of things that we have to take our time on. I'm going to read a couple of comments because they're long and I like the long comments. Hold on just a moment, Jennifer. My parents downsized from their 15-acre farm and it took a little bit. I just saw their new home a few months ago and it's perfect. I'm glad they waited for it. See, they waited for it, her parents. And Jennifer said, they took me and showed me few they could have bought sooner, but this was their dream, and I'm glad they waited. Your house will come, just pray for it. That takes time. Dear Lord, give me patience and hurry up about it, right? That's true. You want to get out of the place you're in. You want to move fast, but sometimes moving fast is when you make poor decisions. So facts versus feelings. I tell my staff this all the time. We have to lead with a fact about what someone said, not how we feel about that person, and she's a pill. Or not about this house, and this house doesn't work because it's ugly on the outside. And what I told my realtor is I taught him something new. I taught him this. I don't know, y'all probably know this, but whenever people go on a date and someone shows a picture of like the really pretty woman and someone shows up and the guy says they're not as pretty, it's called catfishing. So when we pulled up to one of the properties, I said, "We've been catfished." And he said, "What?" I said the pictures were a lie. So if you look at the pictures, they actually paint the grass and they make everything look bigger or spread out when it's actually right on top of each other. So that's our challenge, is finding a house that's not a catfish, that has actual what they say it has. So that's difficult. Now, facts versus feeling, patience. Oh, Diana, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Diana. I appreciate that. So the facts versus the feelings and the patience is what's going to bring me forward. Now, we have started to look at other properties, and these are the things we know to be true. If you go far enough out, an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes is an affordable piece of land like in Livingston or Crosby. But if you try to find something closer within a 30-minute drive, then the drive that you have to do within 30 minutes, the house is extremely expensive and we don't qualify. So the things that I said to Tim were, I'm noticing a trend that this is all a flood region. So we have to weed through the flooded houses, then weed through the other houses. It's like a needle in a haystack. Have you guys ever felt like it's a needle in a haystack situation where you don't think you're going to find something? I feel like it's a diamond in the rough. I feel like a diamond in the rough. Like, golly, I told Tim, I was like, I started crying yesterday because I was so overwhelmed that I want to find a diamond in the rough, but it's going to take time to find this right place. And when you've waited for 8 years since flooding during Harvey and losing everything you own and spending your savings to build your tiny house to live in, it definitely is. When you've waited this long, what's waiting more? I told them if we have to wait 6 months, 4 months, 12 months, I mean, there's no rush, except that there is, because part of you wants it to be here already. That idea and that principle we learned in California when we went to train together, Tim and I. It's called eating the marshmallow. Now, let me explain eating the marshmallow. Eating the marshmallow is a principle of when you open the pantry and you're so hungry You just grab a marshmallow and throw it in your mouth. You don't want to wait for the dinner to be ready. You don't want to wait for the DoorDash to arrive. And you definitely just want to eat quickly. So eating the marshmallow is a thought, is a principle that people are a principle that people have said. You're just eating the marshmallow. Well, I'm here to say that I declare that I'm not going to eat the marshmallow. I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to open the pantry door. And I told my mom about this morning. I said, Mom, we have this idea. And my mom said, I told her that we were going to wait and we were going to look at all of our options. And she said, Lauren, that's very smart. I'm proud of you. My mama was proud of me. I mean, my mama's always proud of me, but to say she's proud of a decision made is really a big deal in my book. So we are going to not eat the marshmallow. We're going to have patience and we're going to look slowly. Now I'm going to be bringing Tim in and he's going to tell you his side because I'm telling you my female side and my brain side, but Tim may have another side to it. Tim is very wise. He has always been wise, but he has been so wise in the decisions of what we're doing recently. I see it every day of the how he is and how he's talking to me and how he's talking to the realtor. And when he makes statements that calm me down, oh y'all, he's like my rock. And God is my rock, but Tim is like my comforter. He's like my calmer down. He's like, hey, it's okay. We're going to find something. We work really hard. We're going to find something and we're going to have signs that this is the right way. Now, some of you said that you'll know with your gut instinct, like an intuition, like you just know. And I hope that that is true because I want to just know that we are on the right path. I do struggle with this, though. I do struggle with the frustration and the patience, and I did cry about it. I feel like I have to confess my emotions that when it boils down to it, every human asks themselves one thing. Three things. Am I safe? Am I loved? And am I enough? And I would say that when we were in a room in California training, there was 800 doctors, and they said, who in here wants to be liked? And everybody raised their hand. So there's certain things that we have to have our partners, our friends, our family, they counterbalance, right? They counterbalance us. They help us to be rational and make good decisions. Because when we boil down to it and we want to know, are we safe? Are we loved? And are we enough? I think part of being safe is having a home where you feel safe with a strong foundation. Now, I would say that a house is not a house without a husband or a spouse or a friend or a family or somebody that you can talk to in times of need. So Tim is that for me. Tim is that for sure. So I wanted to tell you guys that we're going to keep up the hunt. We're going to keep looking. And we want something that looks like this. I'm going to show you what it looks like, that we would like a home that looks like this. Kind of like that. Like a farmhouse, like a front porch. Sorry, my texts are going off. Let me pull that up. Okay. I think you guys can see it okay. But a front porch and a back porch and something that just feels like home. I really like the red door and I really like the white and the black and I like the wide front driveway. Well, I know that it's out there. I know that we're going to find it. It's just going to take time to get there. Well, I'm going to read you something and then I'm going to bring in handsome Tim and we're going to talk out some things with you guys. Here we go. All right. I'm going to read you a passage from Luke 6. And I really love this passage because it relates to what's going on now. And it says, this is Luke 6:44. For every tree is known by his own fruit. For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of all the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will shew you to whom he is like. He is like a man who built a house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. So with that being said, our house is going to be on concrete, strong foundation, rock. Without further ado, Tim has joined me.
Hello.
So Tim has probably felt like I've been all over the place. You can imagine that he feels like I'm all over the place. Do you feel like I'm all over the place?
No. Hey everybody. I understand that we've been through a lot, and I understand that we're learning a lot. So it seems like we're all over the place, but you know, it's hypotheticals, and it feels kind of chaotic, but we're staying focused and we're talking it out. We're communicating, which is vital, which is important. We're communicating with family members and team members, so to speak. So no, I don't feel like you're all over the place. Is that the right answer?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the right answer. It just has to be the answer that you are so funny. Oh,
Tim,
man.
Somebody said it's Tim the handyman.
Yeah, I said you are a handyman.
You think I'm a handyman?
I think you're a handyman. I think you're a handyman to keep around. I mean, not in the handyman sense of like you're going to fix the plumbing problems in the.
No, not the plumbing.
Not the plumbing.
Not the plumbing.
What kind of things have you fixed around a house before?
I spent some time in the electrical field, so I've done some commercial and residential electrical. And spent a little time doing some scaffolding work.
She says, "Scootish over Tim. We would like to see your face." You know what? You can see Tim's face. Hold on. Watch this. Hey, Tim. Y'all ever see that show with like Tim the Toolman Taylor where his neighbor next door was like this? Y'all ever see that show? And he was next door and he was like this forever. And it was like you could never see what he was saying. So, you know, Tim, you could be like this. And then, you know, you could hide your mouth and then you just don't look. See, the problem is not that Tim does not want to sit here and look at it. See, I can sit here and look at myself and I'm okay. But maybe if he did like this. I'm just joshing you. I'm joshing you. Mr. Wilson, that's his name, Dana. Yeah. Mr. Wilson, remember? Mr. Wilson. Yeah. My mom said you knew what the actor looked like, but it was funny that he stood behind the fence the whole time.
He was funny.
And you would try to get that crack between the boards where like you could see part of his mouth and you're like, I just have to see his mouth. Do you think humans have to see a mouth in order to feel like they know you?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well. Handsome Tim, it's cool to have your voice as the main character. Mystery keeps people interested.
Thank you. I really it's not even about being on camera. It's about, I'm a humble person, and this outlet is about you, and this is about animals. So I love being behind the scenes. I love being the man behind the curtain. I love being the secret weapon. So I like that. I like it that way.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So it's
I
not
mean,
about me.
you did give me flowers.
I do what I can.
He got me those flowers. He's always doing little things like that. He said when he gave them to me, he said, "Congratulations on having a new associate doctor and a home loan in the same week." So things are really taking off, and we're starting to have so much momentum. And I know that good things are coming. So a lot of good things are happening. Tim had to go get Dexter. He's barking at the neighbor dog. But we have a lot of great change happening and a lot of things happening. And I'm going to tell you guys, we'll call you Oz. That's funny. We'll call Tim Oz, handsome Tim. Now, I like handsome Tim. We could say handsome Tim from Oz or Wizard of Oz, some kind of thing like that. Dexter, get in here. You're making Dad mad. Come here.
Nope.
Oh, he's going. He has to get put up because he did something naughty. He barked at the neighbor dog. Well, with that being said, as far as like what, well, Tim's about to be back. Hold on. I have some more questions from him. Wait. Shh. Come back.
What?
Come back. Or did you need to get something? Go get what you needed to get. I'll wait. You need to put your socks on. He said he needs socks because it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. Huh. It's like 25 degrees out there. God, it's going to be so cold tonight. I'm glad that y'all are here with me today. I can't wait for this cold snap to pass. All right. So yesterday when we saw the 3 properties, how did you feel after we saw all 3 of them?
I felt hungry. First off,
he said he felt hungry because he hadn't eaten all day and it was 3:30.
That was the first thing.
I brought snacks.
You came prepared.
Yeah, I had snacks. Excuse me. I had pistachios I tried to give you. I had fruit bars, the That's It bars.
Made me hangrier.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat them because he said it would make him more hungry.
I rather fast.
He was fasting until 3:30. What did you eat to break your fast?
What did I eat?
You took me to lunch to a restaurant, a fancy, kind of fancy restaurant. Mom said, "That's fancy." And you took me to have a red snapper, and you had shrimp.
Crab cakes.
You had crab cake. He loves crab cakes.
Question. You asked a
question. So how did you feel after you saw the 3 houses about how our home buying experience, how was the home shopping experience for the first day?
I felt like if I would have had some hair, I probably would have pulled it out. It was a little frustrating. It's frustrating when you get catfished.
We got catfish for sure on the first one.
And you see work that's not quality, and you have high hopes, and you want to get excited. You want to get excited about things, and you kind of get let down. But it still was a good overall experience.
I didn't like the first place because you had to share a fence with another neighbor. Like you had to go through a gate to get into the other people.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't know who that person was. Is that the caretaker or is that Rupert?
Rupert. One time, Tim and I went to Jamaica for a big trip. We saved up for a couple years to go to Jamaica for the first time. And when we get there, there's a guy that's like taking care of the house, and his name's Rupert, and he's Jamaican. So Tim always calls people Rupert when it's kind of like a new place. They always say, "Hey, Rupert, yeah, man." But okay. And then how did you feel about the second property that wasn't built all the way?
that that was a roller coaster. I like the idea. I like the foundation. I like the potential, but I mean, there was a couple things that we didn't like, so it felt like we were just kind of forcing a peg into a round peg into a square hole. So
That's true, because we didn't like that it was on a corner. We didn't
right,
like that it was like a
good
V, so
analogy.
it kind of went down like this on the corner of a lot, and then it was very, very steep. Like the house to the ground, you and the realtor were concerned. Like
Mhm.
the house was like this, and they're like, "How's that going to prevent runoff? And where's Bodie going to be? And how's Bodie going to walk up and down this big hilly thing?" And when I talked to Jessica, she's like, Jamie and Lester have a lot of those hills and the rolling, and the horses do fine with it, which maybe that is, I know that's true. Horses can walk up and down hills, but I think just having to build the lean-to, having to build everything from scratch, it was just going to be a lot of effort. So everybody makes things look great in pictures. Every single pictures that we saw, they like faked the grass. How did that make you feel, knowing that we were catfished and the grass was not really there? And
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I felt like, we got catfished.
mm-hmm.
Um,
That
it was
wasn't fun.
it was definitely a letdown. You feel like it's a waste of time, but at the same time, you're gaining some experience, and as your mom would say, it's an experience.
My mom always says that. She goes, you tell her something happened, she's like, well, it's an experience. You're learning. So that's funny.
But yeah, it was a good experience overall. It was, we needed to do it.
Yeah. Well, we know what we want, and we made a list of house wants and house needs. What was the biggest revelation you had when we started coming up with what we wanted and what we needed? Like, what was your big revelation, or like your big takeaway from, like, you're like, oh, I do want that?
We want a foundation, a house. I mean, it sounds like cliche and like the cliche analogy, but we realized we wanted a strong foundation for a house.
One of the comments is that the foundation work would have to be every couple years if it's eroding.
Right.
And that's true, because what if it starts to go down? And then they had one house here and then like a slab here.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized that the drainage was coming off of this one onto the other one, and it was like cracked at the other one. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, that's going to be bad foundation. I think that's our most important thing. Don't you agree that our foundation is solid?
Yeah.
I do too. I think we have to have a really great foundation. And I think that, like, the cost of, like, the things like Sue just said, the grass,
mm-hmm.
The fence was going to be $20,000 alone. Mm-hmm. The grass would be thousands of dollars. The lean-to for Bodie would be thousands, so there's just so many components to it. And we only have so much money. Like, we got approved for this FHA loan, which we've learned a lot about FHA loan in the last 2 days. FHA loan is great for first-time home buyers. It has low interest. Like, we're just trying to figure that out with all the guidelines and the rules of FHA and versus a conventional loan. And well, they told us if we waited until September, because we had the previous flooded situation, if we waited, we could get approved for a conventional loan, and we could actually get something that we wanted, like land and build in a conventional loan. So maybe we're not rushing. And how does that make you feel to wait 6 or 12 months more to get the house that we really want and love?
I think you know how it makes me feel. I'll just say it. But,
yeah. I know how you feel. I'm just saying this because I like to have an interview with you, so everybody's watching me interview you.
Patience is a serious virtue, especially now. We're microwave society. We want everything right now. And compared to the way that we proceeded with the last property, it just didn't feel right to start rushing this whole doing things in 4 months. And again, us trying to just force things, it didn't feel right. So I'm completely on board with waiting, taking our time, and pushing out some awesome videos until we can get our own property and be able to do videos from there.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
He said being able to do videos from our property. Well, that's another thing that I'm going to bring up because I'm going to be candid. Like, there's some part of me when we're doing the videos at a property that I was really bummed to have to wait because we won't be able to have Bodie with us to do videos on our property.
I get that.
I'm really sad about that. Like, it's just going to take long. It's just going to take a while to find something. And I know I'm making this story time about the situation with the house, but there are so many lessons in here that are about sharing. Stories inspire strength.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're getting stronger and we're getting more foundation to be able to go into the future with. And we've learned a lot from flooding during Harvey and flooding during Imelda, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
Yeah, we've learned a lot of information, like what to look for and what to be careful with, and all these stipulations, which we just learned. Funny story, we just learned that if we wait and we get a conventional loan and we pay down 20% of the cost of the loan, we don't pay private mortgage insurance anymore. But if we do FHA, we have to pay private mortgage insurance for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or refinance. So all those little things about how you can pay more for this, and we're just not for it. We want to be, Tim says, keep your head on a swivel, but we want to always we always want to keep our head on a swivel to look at the information and the knowledge we need to know about. So life lessons are very important, but we went through some serious ones with Harvey. We had Harvey, we had the second flood, the first flood Harvey, second flood, third flood Imelda, and the fourth flood. So we had 4 floods, and all of those, they bought us out to leave us with.
No. I'm gonna keep it real.
Well, keep it real.
You just named the 4 floods, right?
Yeah.
So all of that happened in that time. But also, what else happened? My brother died.
Your brother died.
Our uncle, who was working on the house.
Our Uncle Bobby was building our tiny house when he
died.
When he died at 55 of a massive heart attack.
Dog we had for 15 years died.
Our dog Scrappy died.
Your grandmother died.
My grandmother Geneva passed in 2019 during the flood.
Grandfather?
My grandfather Tiny died, and we left for Kentucky 1 week after the flood.
Right. And then my cousin died on my birthday.
And then your cousin died. And then your grandma died.
And then my grandma died.
All within 2 years.
And all of that happened inside with the floods. So
there was a lot of loss and a lot of hardships, and we went through a lot of things. And it tested us, like super tested us. We thought it was over. We were so spent. We were so upset. We were so tired. And we didn't know that we'd be able to pull ourselves back up.
Yep.
And by the grace of God, it's okay. It's okay to talk about it. Never said it out loud like that before. You never listed it like that before. It's okay, my love. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tim's going to take a minute. He'll be back. He's never listed out all the things that happened. He's never said that publicly. And I don't think he realized the extent of it. I've talked about it in therapy and gone through all that. And Tim's done some therapy as well. And, it takes a lot to ask for help. Sometimes you have to ask for help when you need therapy, and you have to reach out to people when you do need help. A lot of this process is bringing up these emotions, going to shop and going to shop for a home and hearing about a loan and trying to make sure you're not going to flood again. It does bring up that trigger. It's a trigger. The triggers of trauma and the trauma from the emotional side of it, it's very difficult. So there was a lot of grief. My mom said there's a lot of grief in a short period of time. My mom never heard it listed either. And listing it all out, we were under spiritual attack. We had a lot of loss. We went to a lot of funerals. I miss my grandmother, Geneva, the one that I have the tattoo right here. I missed her funeral because we were flooded and we couldn't get there. And my grandfather died 5 days after that, and we managed to get to his funeral, my mom and I. And we went to Uncle Bobby's funeral, and he had 3 funerals. He was a very distinguished businessman, a very brilliant man who helped to build the anthrax vaccine, and he helped to fight against anthrax, and he helped build the machinery that made the vaccines. But he also was built hotels, and he had made a lot of successes for himself, and he came back to build our tiny house that we lived in after the floods. And he had a simple prostate procedure, and 2 days later he got up to walk, and on his 4th step he had a massive heart attack because he had a widowmaker, and he didn't know he had a widowmaker. So in honor of Uncle Bobby, Tim and I went 2 years ago on Valentine's Day to have our hearts scanned and get our stress test done and check our hearts and check our valves and all of our plumbing, and we passed with flying colors. So our hearts are good. So we learned a lot of things like that, like from the trauma and from the grief comes things that change you for the better. Would you agree?
Amen.
Yeah. So we learned a lot, and this is bringing up a lot of that for us. And we'll do it together like we've done everything else. You know, I've
Absolutely.
walked to the store when I was 13 years old to buy ice cream cone with you. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that I can walk and ride with you in a car to go find our future home. We've done a lot of things together over the years, and our marriage is stronger than ever. And now we're doing videos together. And Tim's making the videos. I'm sending him the videos. So how it happens is I come home from working a long day on a Friday on horses and cows and goats, and I airdrop all of my videos. There's usually 46 to 52 videos. And then Tim takes them and loads them into this really cool app. And we put our new music on there, which we're going to get some more songs made, right? And Tim loads them in there, and then he goes through and puts all the bubbles, and he cuts it down to the interesting parts. And then he hands me his phone maybe the next night, and then I voice over the entire scenes of what he's picked. So can you imagine? I'm seeing the scenes that he picked, and I'm like, and then there's the Mustang.
It says, Lauren, you're a great therapist. Your voice is so calm and
Soothing. Oh. And then there's a Mustang. Will she trust him, or will she not let him touch her? And her name is Emmy Lou. Emmy Lou, the Mustang that Tim picked out the pictures from, the images of. And he makes the videos complete, and then I put the voiceovers. And then we put everything together and we put it out. It's amazing. So the 5 steps to Tim and I's strength, which I think it's Lolene who said, I like your name, Lolene. Lauren, you're a great therapist. I'm not a therapist, but I've been through a lot of therapy. So disclaimer right here at the bottom. Tim, can you put a pop-up for me? Disclaimer, I am not a therapist, but I've been through a lot of crap that makes me feel like I can be a therapist. No, but in all seriousness, Tim and I found out through trauma that we were both dealing with codependence. If he didn't eat mushrooms, I didn't eat mushrooms. And if he didn't eat eggs, I didn't eat eggs. And then I missed mushrooms, but I didn't tell him, so it made me build resentment. This is a small, I'm exaggerating. Mm-hmm. But I didn't eat mushrooms because Tim didn't eat mushrooms, and I missed mushrooms. I got resentful because I didn't eat the mushrooms. And so I would get resentful to Tim, and then I would eat mushrooms when I wasn't with him. That's codependence. It's basing your feelings and your day and your thoughts off of someone else's, and you have to do them on your own. So the 5 steps to understand are: have self-awareness, have self-control, have great self-care, have healthy timings, so no extremism, and have healthy understanding of situational awareness with spontaneity. So self-care, self-control, self-awareness. So the biggest one for us is self-awareness of what kind of house we want. Self-control, to pull back and not go too extreme with the dollar amounts of what we're spending. Agree?
Mm-hmm.
Self-care to understand what we need and what we want in our house. Extremism to not make a decision within the first house we find.
Okay.
And healthy boundaries. That's the one I miss. Healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. I got it wrong, you guys. Tim just reminded me. Healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. So we are stronger together, buying a house with these healthy 5 steps and healthy boundaries. And there's a boundary that we have to talk about. There's a boundary that's been broken. Oh, I'm going to say it.
By me?
Not by you. I broke the boundary. Woo! He said, woof. You broke a boundary. You did break a boundary. I broke a boundary.
Amen.
I broke a boundary because I did not ask you if everyone could know about the videos of the houses. I broke that boundary.
Oh.
So I broke a boundary with Tim because he and I talked about it, but we feel that there's a lot of negativity that can come at someone when they are telling exactly to the point of where they live. Very true.
I just think that there's because everybody has to have a certain level of privacy. Yeah. So it's just a respectful thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I didn't see it that way. I started making the videos and telling where we were and what it looked like. And I didn't realize that it was, one, it's a violation because it's private property when we're seeing someone's house. And two, I didn't realize that saying the name of the town that you could isolate and figure it out where it was. And three, we're learning from other YouTube followers that have had people follow them, harass them, come to their door. And a lot of you know you don't have that happen, or you're too far away for that to happen. But that's what can happen when you don't have healthy boundaries on YouTube as well. So you and I have developed a healthy boundary system. And I think that's important. And I'm glad that y'all are here with us. But we want to be candid with you and tell you that some of the things that we're trying to do as far as our life, only a small amount of them will be kept confidential and private.
Yeah.
Correct? So we will tell you where we're roundabouts, but we will not show our exact purchase when we purchase something for the sake of the world of crazies that might come to our door or, try to show up unannounced. So I would say that moving forward, are you excited about the house shopping process, or is it driving you insane?
No, I'm not excited about it. No. It's painstaking. If we were if we were shopping for a $2 million house or something like that, then I'd be like, yeah, it's fun. Let's go do it. But we're not doing that. We're
shopping for a very low to modest home.
Yeah, so it's not exciting. It feels like we're moving in a positive direction. How does that sound?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like we're moving in the right direction. And I just want to let you know that I don't mind taking my mom with me to see properties, and you can stay home sometimes, especially if they're going to be catfish situations out there.
No, I'm going.
Well, we have a property that we just found. It was kind of last minute we found, and it looks, oh my God, it has a horse barn, and the one that has the horse barn, it's a log cabin.
Yeah.
We found like a log cabin horse barn situation, but we have to wait till after the freeze because tomorrow and Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know, is supposed to be like massive snow, and we have no snow plows in this area.
That's why your phone's blowing up, because everybody from work is talking about everything being closed on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So apparently all my staff are having a group message about everything being closed down on Tuesday. So we might be getting closed down. My mom said, thanks, Tim, I get spared.
What does she mean? What?
Oh, for not having to go with me.
Oh, man. No, she needs to come too. Nah, you coming too.
You know, drag mom along. Tell her we'll buy her lunch after it's over.
That's all you got to do.
Well, I forgot to tell you. Someone once asked me, and I didn't even tell my mom. My mom said, hell no. Someone once asked me, didn't know that I had a sister
Mm-hmm.
and that you have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a text message from my sister today. And she said that her son is doing a biology lesson about a genetics project. And he needed to know, and I don't talk to my sister very often, but she texted me and said they needed to know when you put your hands together, which thumb lays over the other. Like that.
What?
It's apparently a genetic recessive thing. So he said you have to do like that. And so I haven't talked to her in a while. And then she asked that, and I thought it was cool about what she's asking about the project. Can you put your hands together like that? Yeah, I did that. So mine is left. What's yours? Right. What are you guys when you do that? When you put your hands like clap together, what thumb falls over what?
The recessive side.
It's basically like your dominant brain. Your dominant brain would control that. So I think I'm right dominant brain because my left crosses over, and your right dominant brain and your left crosses over. What are you? Mom said he asked me too. I'm right. My mom's right and I'm left? I wonder what my dad is. How many people have left? Oh my God, everybody's like left, 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 left. You see it? Thumb over right thumb. Yes, left, left. I approve of your reasons for setting your boundaries, but Texas is too far from me. Montreal. Montreal. Canadian, eh? They said bold. Considering not sharing the Holocaust works out easy for that. If you think it's wise, mute that before you post the video. Oh, yeah, but it's not. Yeah, you're fine. I see what you're saying about muting it, but it's okay. It's not easily found. Oh, what else? Step by step, and please take your time to find your home. Please, I'm happy to hear with you. I'll be patient because that's the key to being happy. Yes, it is. Well, that's true. That's true. Well, we'll see. There's about 6 log cabins out there, so I think we're good. Do you have a spacious reasoning too? What does that mean? Spacious reasoning. How many? Left-handed, left-handed, left over right? I tried to do the right over left, but it doesn't work. Like, it feels weird. Can you do it? It feels strange. Really strange. Spatial reasoning is about annoying at times. I don't know. I'm still lost on spatial reasoning. I'll have to look that up. Spatial reasoning. I still don't know. Well, hi. Who's just coming in? Hello, hello. Well, what did you say that your biggest house want? You said foundation. But what is your biggest thing you're looking forward to on a bigger property in a new space that's not a little rental?
Not looking out my window and seeing my neighbor cutting his grass or cutting my grass and not knowing which one he's cutting.
Our yard is only about 2 foot wide from the house. So if the neighbor sometimes cuts ours or he cuts his, that's true. That's true. That's funny. But we have something else up our sleeve, but we can't tell you about it right now. We can't talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. But we have something else that we're trying to do as far as our future. But we're not going to talk about that.
You got to have a backup plan for the backup plan to back up the backup plan.
Ooh, you got to have a backup plan for your backup plan to back up your backup plan. That's what we're doing. So we've got something up our sleeve, but we're going to keep it to ourselves. and it's going to be nice. Oh, this lady says she's ambidextrous. You are too. My mom is ambidextrous. My mom should tell that story about how she got knocked down and her dominant right hand got stepped on by a horse. And as a painter, she had to learn to paint with her left hand.
Oh, that's why it takes her so long to do it?
Is that why it takes you so long to paint, Mom? Because you got to use your left hand? Oh, so it apparently, I have to look it up. I'm not sure, but I think it means what brain you are. So if your left finger goes over your right thumb, that your left brain dominant. And if your right thumb goes over your left finger, your right brain dominant. Now, don't know. Have to look that up. Plan A, plan B, plan C, yes. Gosh, I hear you about the backup plan, having a backup for the backup plan. They're laughing at you. Yeah. Jessica, she loves going to people's houses and like seeing their things and like going through things. So she's like, oh, that's my favorite part to shop. I would see like 3 or 4 houses a week for like 8 weeks. And I would be all in the house learning things. I'm like, girl, you're getting all in people's business. You're probably opening their underwear drawers and their bathroom drawers. And she's like, yep, I do that. Oh man, that's funny. My dad always said, if I can walk out onto my porch and pee with no neighbors, that's the dream home. Yeah, but that takes like what? How many acres? Like 10 acres, 15 acres to be able to pee off your front porch and nobody see? Yeah. Well, Tim and I are very excited to share this journey with you with our healthy boundaries. And, I'm glad that Tim's here with me on the video today. We have a lot coming up. I have to tell you guys some news. Not many people know this. So, okay. So Jessica and I have been doing a lot of thinking or a lot of planning, and we are going to, Tim and I decided to purchase a thermal imaging machine to thermally image the animals and see where the inflammation is in their body, and then bought a machine to go with it that would treat that inflammation and remove it and then repeat the image to see that it's healed. Chiropractic is wonderful, but it just takes a while for the healing to happen. And I wanted to be able to actually see inside the horse to be able to help people understand why the horse needed 2, 3, or 4 adjustments. So I bought the machine. It came in last week. The other one came in the week before that, but we don't know how to use them. So here's the big news. And I think someone on here knows already. I think it's Vanessa knows this already because she's one of my members and I shared this with the members. But we are flying to Ocala, Florida to train with the veterinarian who works on the Grand Prix horses and uses these machines. You guys, we're going to train in Ocala, Florida and stay at the World Equestrian Center. And we booked a hotel, not at the World Equestrian because it was $600 a night, but to the side of the hotel, we're going to stay at the newest riding academy. We're going to train for an entire day. We're going to fly out on a Thursday, come back on a Saturday, and we're going to train and learn all this new equipment. So you're going to hold down the fort while I'm gone?
There's a bear in the woods.
There's a bear in the woods? Yes. So yeah, so we're excited. We're going to Ocala, Florida to World Equestrian Center. We're really excited. So we're squeezing all of our clients in to this week. We're supposed to, but with the cold, we have to squeeze them all in to like Friday, Saturday, and then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So lots of work having to be done before we go. When we get back, we're going to offer this thermal imaging. I think we're going to charge like $25 to take a picture of the horse. And then we're going to do the treatment for an unset, I don't know the amount, because we have to talk to the veterinarian who helped create it, and they're doing case studies. We were one of 3 people that have the machine. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not sure, but I think he said that not a lot of people have this. Only 50 upvotes, but 153 viewing. Come on, people. Hey, can y'all click the thumbs up? Just minimize me. Click the thumbs up and notification with the bell. We'd love for you guys to come back next time, but maybe half of you tell me you missed the live. So make sure you press the little bell and support us on this journey we're on. It's really exciting. Tim's going to be doing more videos, and we're working really hard to make sure that they are good before we put them out. We don't just put random content 2 times a day that doesn't mean anything. And we promise to offer you no clickbait. No clickbait ever. No catfish, no clickbait ever. Go back and record me saying this. No clickbait, no catfish ever.
What about crabbing?
No crabbing. No crabbing, no catfishing, no nothing on this channel. Nothing. Hit the thumbs up, hit the bell. I promise you no clickbait. Oh my God, what's wrong with Fiona? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I find that I get a lot of views and I'm like, my truck was stolen, and what, I got 4,000 views. Yeah. That's okay though. We provide genuine content, real story time, right? And only things that educate. That's me. Like, I will never compromise me. Learning, educating, funny, and story times. So thank you all for thumbs up there. I appreciate the thumbs up. And we're going to go ahead and jump off here. Thank you all for watching. I am Dr. Lauren Baker with Animal Ranch Care, and my husband, Tim, who's sitting right here. And he does exist. There's his arm. Come and take it, baby. Come and take it. All right. Until next time, I will see y'all next Sunday, unless I go live impromptu at another time. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, our members. Thank you for all of the members for supporting us on this journey. Remember, you've got 3 packages: Ranch Hand, Trail Boss. Forget the other name, but Ranch Hand and Trail Boss are 2 most popular. Well, y'all remember, you are loved. You deserve everything, and you keep your head up and keep positive. Have patience and know that you are loved always by the Most High. Until next time, love you, Mama.